don't know how it got stuck at the end. Oh, this is our birthday present.
Oof. Right next to the speaker.
They're going to do what's kind of early versus again.
Yeah, to do it early. Yep.
Long after you got to drive all the way to Bisbee, go set up the new program machine, for myself to the bus. Then I got to come back and go to Orange Grove, Minnesota, to do a modification to their system after they close.
Yay!
Did you go to the Vail Chamber breakfast?
Nope. No, I haven't been to the Vail one very often. Nope. We're members still out there.
What's that?
We're still members out there, but
Greg, I like this team right here. We get a trading. Roger, how you doing? I did
Thanks for the birthday present.
We have to turn the wings.
You know, I think you're a salesman. I'm just thinking.
Come here. It's not even fair because my
How's next week look?
I think you are, but
I'll tell you. What are you thinking? Morning or?
Yeah, but also the first time at the last shopping right now.
Tuesday morning, I'm Wednesday morning, about 9 o'clock? Yep, that works.
What happens if you get a ticket?
I drop it?
Sure.
forever for me.
Gotcha.
Where are you going to be, Bobby?
He's walking the edge. Greg, how you doing, buddy? Is it your birthday as well, or are you guys doing
Nope.
new member? New member.
Last call for raffle tickets. If you need a raffle ticket, now's the time to come get it.
Congratulations.
Again, Bobby.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Greg, I'm sorry I had to.
Yep. Well, we actually met at the door.
Yes.
hear about it. The birthday thing.
Happy 25th birthday. Happy 25th birthday.
Yeah. Listen, 3 times 25. And it's a 25. That's what they.
How'd you think we're beating?
Number 67.
Oh, here you go.
Fred giving us some cheesesteak. Yeah, I didn't think there was extra spaces right there. And I was in there. When they know. And they also want me to do the pledge in here. It was funny when I did the pledge a couple weeks ago. I almost forgot to be good. Uh-oh, I'm stressing.
He's got his 10-minute presentation. Are we ready? Are we ready? If you're ready, I'm ready.
Ready, ready.
I really thought at this point in my term that everyone would be kind of like Pavlov. They'd hear the bell and they'd stand up, and it's really only Bruce Jacobs, so gold star for Bruce. Welcome to the May 21st meeting of the Rotary Club of Tucson. It's time for our pledge and song. I'm going to welcome up Greg Durnan, who's already up here, joined our club February 20th, 2025. Business Services, IT Services, Acacia IT. And he went to U of A. Greg?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
Thank you, Greg. And now it is time for our inspiration. I'm going to welcome up, who's already up here again, Cammie Evans, joined our club April 25th, 2024. She's in Pima County government, Pima County Board of Supervisors, and she also went to that great college, University of Arizona. Cammie.
There are so many reasons to join Rotary, and if it wasn't for friendships, it's definitely a byproduct, right? And I've been really lucky the last, oh, you can't? Sorry, I'll be a little closer. Is that better? Okay. Yeah. So anyway, great reasons to join Rotary. Friendship is certainly one of them. I've been lucky to make a lot of great friendships in the last year and reconnect with old lifelong friends and family friends. And with that, I'm going to give you an excerpt from my English class journal from October 10th, 1984. Hello, I'm in a great mood. Cincinnati traded Ricky Hunley to Denver yesterday. He's leaving for Denver today. He's all packed up and everything. He'll probably sign the contract today or tomorrow. Yay! That is so exciting. That would be cool if they were in the Super Bowl. My dad said we would go if we are, or if they are, I guess. I'm so happy for him. I know this is what he really wanted, especially since he and Randy are such good friends. Well, anyway, I'm still sick, so back to reality, right? So be careful how you impact people around you, right? In service, in mentoring, in peopling. Be kind, because you don't know what 15-year-olds you're influencing and who they will write about and say things about you in 41 years, right? So there's your inspiration. Be kind in all things that you do.
So you had a journal when you were 2? Wow, that's really cool. Now it's time to introduce guests and visiting Rotarians. I'm going to welcome up Dan Calm, who's already up here as well. You guys are just so efficient today. Joined our club January 9th, 2020, Insurance and Risk Management, State Farm Insurance, and he went to Oral Roberts University, which is still a good university. Dan.
So to kind of add to what Cammie was saying, I read the new individual happiness study, and the new individual happiness study said that the number one reason that people are happy is because of the relationships and the quality of the relationships. And if you look around, if you're a guest or somebody who's here for the first time, think hard about joining our club because the relationships and the vibrancy of this club are wonderful. So with that, I'm going to ask you to stand, and I'm going to introduce you. So from the Catalina Club, Dave Gallagher. Dave? Gallagher. All right. Guest of Judy Kagi, Rick Kagi. Guest of Mitch Pizik, Stephen Fowler. Guest of Mitch Pizik, Steve Anderson. Guest of Shar Harris, Ginny Clements. Guest of Shar Harris, Tom Rogers. Guest of Jim Lubinsky, Tim Dorgan. Guest of Cliff Wood, Judy Wood. Guest of Jennifer Hoffman, Owen Hoffman. Guest of Ricky Hunley, Lamont Hunley. Guest of Ricky Hunley, Jorge Ruiz. Guest of Ricky Hunley, Robert Ponzo. Guest of Ricky Hunley, Constance Ledyard. And last but not least, guest of Jennifer Hoffman, Noah Hoffman. So if you're visiting, thank you for being here, and get an application packet and join this club.
Thank you, Dan. Before the meeting started, I was so excited to see Jenny Clements here, and I went to see her and thought she was here because I'm president. She wanted to see me, and Jenny was very nice about it, but Charlotte right away let me know, oh no, she's here for Ricky Hunley, the program, so it's good to be humbled. Next, I'd like to welcome back up Cammie. You want me to read the whole thing again? Nope. She's been journaling for 41 years since she was 2. Went to the U of A, Pima County Board of Supervisors. Cammie.
Yep. And I probably only journaled because it was like a school responsibility, right? I will say I'm the lucky one who gets to introduce Ricky, not because like 20 other people in this room could also equally introduce him, right? So we'll let a video do the talking. But first, I'm going to say that Maderas Gallery is hosting a party to celebrate his induction to the Hall of Fame. So it's an official Rotary event on July 9th, 6 to 7:30. So make sure you sign up for that. It's in lieu of the second Wednesday small lunches. So July 9th for that. And Bob Logan's also going to be doing a book signing there. So FYI. And right. So with that, we will let the video do the talking.
Paul, this is a pretty powerful room of people. We can find some other Hall of Fame to get you into. I don't think this is the end of your journey yet. All right, congratulations again, Paul. Our next inductee is a college football Hall of Famer, and now representing the University of Arizona. He is also an Arizona Sports Hall of Famer. Let's take a look at the screens behind me as we honor Ricky Hunley.
Ricky Hunley's journey to success on the field and in the community started in Petersburg, Virginia. One of 10 children raised by his mother, Miss Scarlett, he made plays on the football field, but baseball was his first love.
Ricky grew up, with a glove in his hand and a ball in the other hand.
He was drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1980, but opted to go the college route. He decided on the Arizona Wildcats with a shot to play both football and baseball. It's there he became the player, coach, and man he is today.
I would think that he did get clarity of vision from a freshman year to his senior year about what he wanted to achieve on the football field and in the classroom and at the University of Arizona as a college experience. He was very clear about that. And I would say to a large extent, he achieved that because he had a plan to do it.
That vision and intensity made Ricky Hunley a dominant force on the football field. A two-time consensus All-American and an unstoppable leader for the Wildcats, he tallied a program best 566 total tackles in his career.
He was smart, he was quick, he was strong, almost impossible to block, and he hit people like a runaway cement truck. People he tackled stayed tackled.
Ricky was the 7th overall pick in the 1984 NFL Draft by the Bengals, logging 91 games over 7 years.
Ricky Hunley. Hunley has the score.
He eventually traded his pads for a whistle, starting his coaching career at USC and Missouri, working under his position coach, Larry Smith. A strong bond between those two became even stronger.
Larry really trusted Ricky. And so they worked together really well. And from there, he became a part of the staff and went with us to Missouri. So it was a long, long relationship, and he really became part of our family.
I see a lot of Larry Smith in him. I see a lot of Scarlett Hunley in him, and yet he is very much his own man. But like I say, when he played, he was smart. And all the nuances of changes and whatnot, he absorbed that and knew why changes were made or needed to be made. And he has used that as a coach. He's a very good coach.
Hey, coach. You're not gonna eat if you don't throw flags. Come and throw flags. Holding is a flag. Defense, right? Offensive hold. Oh, offensive. There's no defensive flags. No defensive flags. All right? I think nothing's changed. You get dessert and dinner. All right, Bananas Foster.
Ricky now looks to mentor current Arizona student athletes, a practice he's gotten into since playing with his younger brother.
Ricky set a roadmap for me personally, as far as things that I probably wouldn't have accomplished if he wasn't there for me first. And I'm so proud of the fact that he stepped out and created that path for himself. Some kind of way he created that path for himself that gave it to myself and my younger brothers, and everybody else in our household.
I think he loves being around the kids and just being able to mentor them in any way he can, even if he's not coaching, meeting with them, really believing in them, letting them know what it takes to be successful. And he's been a part of turning around every program he was at. So he knows what it takes, and I think he is a big factor in kids' lives. They trust him.
A father, son, brother, teammate, coach, and mentor, Ricky Hundley has spent his life being an example for others and improving his community.
But wherever Ricky puts a footprint, he leaves something indelible, he leaves something permanent, and he's left a lot of footprints. And so you always hope that when we die, that our footprint is larger than our shoe size. And Ricky's footprint is a big footprint.
He's the most deserving person to be in any Hall of Fame. He's always been in the Hundley's Hall of Fame, so now we got another one for him to be in, and we're very proud of that.
A big shoe and a big footprint indeed. Please welcome to the 2024 Arizona Sports Hall of Fame, Ricky Hundley.
Well, thank you. I tell you, it's really an honor to be up here. Okay. But I got Jenny over here, I got Lamont over here, I got Warren back there, and that's what family do for you. You know? And they're there no matter what, you know. Jenny and Tom were there in Phoenix. Warren was there here last week. Now he's back, you know. And I know that we need to up our Rotary membership, but we need a over 100 age class. And Warren said he'll start off that group. You know, got my friend Tushi's over here. You know, I thought I was going to have to set a new tackling record because he's always eyeballing my girlfriend Janine. She's out looking for wedding dresses for her daughter, so I won't have to get that 567 today because I was going to take him out. But anyway, like I say, it's a pleasure being here and being around family. You know, I mean, it's a special time when people support you in the way that I've been supported from the first day at Cammie's house, and we had Bible study. You know, and that's how I met Cammie and her dad and Warren, you know. So today, where, you know, I just met Jorge yesterday over lunch. You meet some great people along the way that support you. And I've had a great journey. And a lot of it's due to my mother. I mean, people don't know who my mother is. Scarlett Hundley, those that know her know that she is a beast. My mom did not play. With 10 kids, 7 boys and 3 girls, and 45 foster brothers and sisters. I mean, we walked the straight and narrow. I mean, she could look at you and you know exactly what she meant. You didn't have to deviate. Like, you knew to get in line and do what she said do. You know, because my mom, she come from a tough upbringing, you know. And I remember her telling her husband when she got married, there's 2 rules. Number 1, you don't put your hands on me. And number 2, you don't call me out of my name. You know, and one, you know, he drank a lot, and he was an alcoholic, and he wouldn't remember anything he said the next day. But he broke both of those rules one day, and she's on the first day of their trip to visit his family in Iowa. They drove back to Virginia. She fed him dinner, put him to sleep. She went in the closet, she got a shoe, and she beat him in his face. 17 stitches across his face, but he learned his lesson. Don't put your hands on me, don't call me out of my name, you know. And so in observing that, we learned that she meant what she said. Because she used to say to us, I brought you here and I'll take you away. And we've seen evidence that she could do that. You know, she always had 2 rules for us too as kids. Don't lie to me, don't steal. You could kill somebody, we worked that out. And, I remember I was in junior high school, and I had a gym teacher, and we just happened to see him a couple of weeks ago when we went back home for the Hall of Fame ceremony for our state high school team. His name was Mr. Burkhalter, and he was a gym teacher. And when big guys in class, we were playing basketball, but Mr. Burkhalter had a stuttering problem. He used to stutter, and the kids would tease him. And so Mr. Burkhalter would make us go back in the classroom, sit in the chairs, perfectly straight with our feet under the desk, and the desks were too small. So we sat sideways with our legs out. And he would walk down the aisle and he would kick your feet. So he kicked me and I kicked him back. I'm like, I ain't doing nothing. He kicked him back. Then he stomped my toe. When I went to stomp his toe and he pushed me, I got rolled over in the chair because I was stuck. I couldn't get out of the chair. And then when the teacher says, go to the principal, you have to call your mom. I was like, oh. So I said, Skylar, I'm in the office. Boy, what did you do? I didn't do anything. She said, I'll be right there. She didn't even question it because she knew if I lied to her, it's worse for me. So we get to the school, and my mom is sitting here. I'm sitting here. Mr. Burkhalter's sitting here, and Mr. Jones sitting here. And it's a small table, close enough to reach. And Mr. Jones said, Miss Hundley, can I get you some coffee? No, I don't need any coffee. I just want to ask Mr. Burkhalter a couple of questions. He said, well, Mr. Burkhalter, is Ricky one of your bad students? Now, mind you, my mom only went to 9th grade because she started having kids at 14, okay? But she was really smart, super smart. She was a survivor. They turned the water off, she turned it on. They turned the lights off, she turned them on. She made things work, she was a survivor. So she's asking him these questions, she's interrogating him, and he don't even realize it. She says, Ricky, one of your bad students? Says, no, ma'am. Actually, he's one of my better students. She says, well, if he was one of your bad kids, then you probably would have killed him then, huh? He said, I ain't killed nobody yet. Wrong answer. She took her backhand and went pow right across his eyes, tears flowing down his face. I'm laughing. Mr. Jones is freaking out. Oh, Miss Hunter, can you calm down? I don't need no coffee. Don't put your hands on my kids. She didn't play when it came to her kids. Don't put your hands on kids. Mr. Fritsch, my oldest brother, collared my oldest brother. Because this was back in the time when you could discipline kids. You could put your hands on them. You could paddle them. You could touch them. She went up to the school, and one of those old schools, where you can open the window and put a mattress out of there or a refrigerator out of there. And she grabbed him by his collar and she held him out the window. He said, the next time you make me come up here, I'm going to throw your GD butt out of this window. Okay, Skylar Hundley didn't play. So, and she's about as big as Miss Jenny now. Okay, my mom still to this day puts fear in your heart. And so growing up as a coach and as a player, if I recruited a kid and he disrespected his mom, I didn't recruit him. That was it. You were done. You don't respect your mom, you're not going to respect anybody else. So that was a part of it. And now in this role that I have, I'm the Executive Director of Player Relations and External Development. I do a lot of counseling and mentoring and talking kids off the ledge and, oh, coach, man, he don't like me. What do you mean he don't like you? I said, well, you didn't show up for breakfast. You were late for practice. You're failing your class. It sounds like to me all you're doing is making your problem his problem. So he don't like you. He's got 200-some people under his watch. How many people you got under your watch? None. Well, don't make your problem his problem. If you want to be here, you do things the right way. So my office is now the common sense office. So we're going to come down and see Coach Common Sense. And then I remember one night I woke up, I woke up in a sweat. I was having nightmares because this thing was introduced to the world, the transfer portal and NIL. And I was like, wow, this is bad. This is so bad. And because all I can see is problems. I got a signing bonus. I played in the NFL. I had an attorney to oversee the agent as an attorney. I had a CPA, and I had a broker. And I still lost my signing bonus. You say, how did that happen? Well, because you know what? People don't deal with your stuff like they do their own. And they're going to take care of themselves first. And so these kids have to learn to take care of themselves first. So rule number one is, all money ain't good money. If you come in my office, there's a whole stack of money on my desk. It's all fake. It says, in prop we trust. you know, for motion picture purposes only. It's a stack of hundreds, you know. And the other thing, they come in there and they look, and I always have my retirement up on the screen. Okay, oh, Coach, man, you rich? I said, no, I ain't rich. I said, you see that? That's retirement. Okay, that was built, that was accumulated, that was saved, that was managed. I said, you have to learn to do the same thing. Now you're going to have to set aside money for your taxes because Uncle Sam doesn't care. If you don't pay your taxes, he's coming after you. Now you're going to have to set aside money over here to take care of things that you want to do. All of you guys should have a Roth. Well, probably 70% of our guys got Roth IRAs. Can you believe that? Got Roth IRAs, so they already started their retirement. I mean, the one young lady's doing a phenomenal job of doing financial literacy and teaching the kids. So it's a great thing. But if they're going to have it, you got to teach them. You got to educate them. And they're open to it. So it's going to happen, and it's going to be okay. But it's, you know, I can go on and on and on about what I do and how I do it. But I know you guys got a lot of questions that'll eat up a lot of time. So raise your hand at any time and stop me. You got a question, because I'm here to answer all your questions, okay? No, I can't hear you.
Oh. How about this? What about the NIL and the way, it seems to me like college football and basketball, everything's just going to hell in a handbasket real fast. How can we straighten this out?
Well, the first thing they're trying to do is create a level playing field. So what they have now is revenue sharing. So 20% or $2.5 million is going to go right to the 500 and some student athletes. Okay, and every college has to do the same thing. Okay, that wants to be a part of that pool. Now, 20% of your gross revenues is different from one school to the next, but all of the Power 5 schools that want to be in contention for the national championship and all that TV money, they have to have that $20.5 million kitty to go at. Now, up until that is take place in, I think, August, everybody's still scrambling to get independent NIL money so that they can load up on players now. Okay, but after that, then everybody has the same spin. But up until then, you're still going to have the haves and the have-nots.
Ricky, there are about 1,600, as I estimate it, 1,600 scholarship football players in the Big 12. Why don't they don't call it the Big 16? I don't know, but it's the Big 12. So you got 1,500, 1,600. In your estimation, based on your experience as a player, as a coach at the U of A, what percentage of those 1,600 kids believe they're going to play in the NFL?
Half of them.
All right, so that'd be 800, let's say? 800 or so?
Yeah.
Okay. What percentage of that 1,600, in your experience and your estimation, will actually play in the NFL?
Maybe 1 to 2% of that.
Okay, so we're talking about maybe 15 to 25 will actually play in the NFL?
From that, you're talking from one conference, yeah.
Okay, that was my question.
First of all, thank you. Thank you for the invitation today. It's a bit of a more personal question. Working with United Way, I'm always focused on figuring out ways to help people think differently so that they can thrive rather than just survive. What would be one of the hardest or the most biggest challenge you've had in life, personal or even in your professional life? But how did you overcome that? What was your mindset? So a tough challenge, but what was the mindset for you to just go through it? Thank you.
You know, I think of one instance where I was bound and determined to finish. Most of you don't know, I only played 1 year high school ball. I actually played. I got injured. And so in my senior year, because my sophomore year, I played behind 2 all-state linebackers, Musclehead and Ricky Gray, and I wasn't playing. You know, I got in the game if we was up by 50. And I was a backup kicker to Darryl Stiff, who was a kicker. So I really didn't play. So my sophomore year was a wash because I tore a muscle in my back and I was injured, missed a whole year of sports. So my senior year, I had to actually get a doctor to approve me on a physical to play because I was still in pain. And he said, look, you can play, but you're going to be in pain. And every night I go home, my mom would heat packs, 10 pillows on the bed, massages, whatever it took to just make me comfortable. And I would go through the pain and I would practice every day. And then the coaches said, look, just do what you can do, you know. Because I remember Coach Moon, Lamont, no, we can't go, Rick ain't going, we can't play. So they let me just, cruise, and I got there and we got a chance to play. And it just happened to be the year that they took 5 of the top schools in Richmond, Virginia, and they combined them into 2. Thomas Jefferson, Huguenot, and George Swift became one football team. And there were 3 powerhouse teams. John Marshall and Maggie Walker became one team. And we had to play both of them to get out of the district. I think we beat one, tied one, all right? And so once we got out of district, we blew everybody, we won the state. So all those teams that stopped recruiting me from the back injury, they all came back and had opportunities to come back. And because my goals had changed, I didn't think that I would get a scholarship to go to school and play football. So my goal was to go to the military and maybe go in the Army, be a 4-star general or something. But it came back, and I was healthy. We won the state championship. I was All-American in high school. I was recruited by everybody in the country, most schools in the country. And my high school coach, linebacker coach, he walked on here in the 60s, and he wanted Arizona to recruit me. So he called out here, and he told Frank Salters, hey, we got a football player y'all need to recruit. He told Tony Mason. He sent out Bob Davies. Bob Davies came out and said, look, I'm not interested in Arizona. The only thing I know about Arizona is coyotes and Roadrunner and cartoon. So they were on the back burner. So now I got visits scheduled: Carolina, Virginia Tech, Maryland, Ohio State, Nebraska, Notre Dame. And my dream schools were Ohio State, Notre Dame. Okay. And one of my friends, his name is Sean Gale, who played with Chicago Bears, we were both going to go on our official visits together. Well, I took a few trips that he didn't take. He took a few trips that I didn't take because we know we weren't going to these schools. I took a trip to Virginia Tech, and it was the coldest day of my life. It was kind of a setup because, it was like sleet, freezing rain in Blacksburg, Virginia. And then the next week, I'm supposed to take a trip to Ohio State, and I'm excited because me and Sean going together. His brother Jimmy Gill played for Ohio State. So we're going to take this trip together, but they had a snowstorm. Well, Ricky Hundley had never been on a plane. And I was scared to death about landing in the snow in the plane because last week we skidded off the road in the snow and hit a mailbox. Nobody got hurt. So I called and I canceled the trip to Ohio State. I said, I'll take that trip to Arizona. Yeah, I'll take that trip because I found out my mother's sister was stationed at Fort Huachuca and she was in the Army, and I get to see my auntie. I said, I'll go see my auntie. I want to go to school. So I get out there and I come on my trip in February. It was 85 degrees in February. It was palm trees. It was mountains. It was beautiful girls in dolphin shorts. I'm like, shit, I can do this. But I still wasn't sold. I wasn't sold. I got drafted out of high school to play pro baseball. So they're playing baseball. I'm in it's called a Dunlap now, but it was old Wildcat Club. And I'm looking down, and Terra Francona, those guys are playing baseball, and they just won the national championship the year before. And I'm a baseball player. That's my first love. So I'm not even paying attention to the football stuff. And Coach Mason comes over to me. He says, hey, you play baseball, don't you? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, you can play here. I said, no, I can't. He said, who told you that? Notre Dame, Nebraska, Ohio State, they all said that you got to go through your freshman year first before you go into another sport. He said, no. If you're good enough to play, you can play here. I said, really? Because you can't tell a kid ain't good enough. Like, can I call my mom? I said, yeah. Scholar, cancel Notre Dame, Nebraska, and Ohio State. I committed on the trip. And the rest is history. Yeah.
Ricky, Elijah here. A comment and a question. What you said about kids not respecting their mother and you not giving them a time, I just want to say I love you for that.
Thank you.
I think that's a message that every kid should
I did
hear.
respect Jenny a few minutes ago. I brushed her hair. And she was going to take me out. She's going to set a new tackling record.
There you go. Well said. I think that's a good message. And my question is, what message do you have for underprivileged kids or kids who thinks that they don't belong? How do you coach them and how do you help them get through the program?
I think you coach them all the same, but you got to be a person who's going to lend a listening ear. I mean, you got to meet people where they are. You can't change them instantly, but you got to spend time with them. You got to meet them where they are, but you got to hold them to a higher standard because don't make it easy for them. It's easy to quit. Anybody can quit. Just throw your hands upside, quit. You know, but to tough it out, that's the thing. So, you know, be there for them. You know, because once they, here's the thing about kids and players. If they know you care, but they don't care until they know you care. Once they know you care, they'll run through a wall for you. You know, and that was no different for me and my coaches that I had from high school and college and the pros. But when a coach turns his back on you and, oh, I'm done with him. I had a coach to do that to me. I mean, he told me to do ABC, and I did ABC, and then the head coach, Coach Stallings, Gene Stallings, jumped my butt. And I'm looking at my coach like, Joe, save me. And he like turned his back. I'm like, oh my God, the enemy's among us. But I lost all respect for that man that day. I just can't work for him no more, you know? Anybody?
Ricky, what's one of your better memories from Arizona with you and Lamont that you have?
Well, there's a lot of memories, a lot of good memories. I remember one time we were playing against Arizona State, and they ran a fake punt. Huh? No, he was a lead blocker. I didn't. I think maybe he won. He won 3 times. Yeah, we started a streak of 10 in a row. So we lost the first 2 because the first year on my recruiting trip, Lamont came on the recruiting trip, and the week that we were supposed to play Arizona State, they had put my picture on the press guide. You know, normally it's the seniors on the press guide for the last game. Well, I made All-American, so they're going to promote me. And so I had one of the seniors that was not very happy with me being on the press guide. And I, you know, I was a goofball. I used to play around, but during that time, and you remember, Doc, they used to give us 2 cans of soda pop and some cut fruit. You'd be in your locker after practice. And so we look forward to getting in there, getting that fruit. But my friend Al Pierce, he had saved all of his soda. He had a whole case. So after practice, I run off the field, you know, no problem. I run all the way into the locker room. And I took his whole case and I shoved it into the dirty clothes bin. And one of his boys saw him. And so he comes over to me and says, hey, where are my sodas? I said, man, I ain't got your sodas. I said, where are my sodas, man? I'm not going to ask you again, freshman. He was a senior. I was a freshman. I said, man, get out of my face. I don't have your sodas. So he pushed me. I pushed him back. Then he said, I'm going to ask you one more time, where my sodas at? Man, I don't have your sodas. And he punched me right in the nose. I'm like, oh. And I went to swing, and I missed. I hit the locker, and I shattered my hand. I had 2 pins put in my thumb. I missed it. That's the only game I missed in my career. I missed the Arizona State game. You know, they say stupid is what stupid does. Yeah. And they always stupid. And Coach Smith is still to this day still mad at Al Pierce because we got our butts beat like 47-7 against ASU. That particular game. And my brother's there on his recruiting trip to come to the school. But we got about 2 minutes, so.
Hey, Ricky, I certainly remember, we all remember you playing football. Did you play baseball, and if so, what position did you play?
When I played baseball in high school, I was a pitcher. Well, you play every position, pitcher, third base. But I got drafted as a pitcher. I could throw the ball, literally, I could throw the ball 98 miles an hour. I had no control, okay? So they made me an outfielder. But I remember one game we played against Meadowbrook, and I'm trying to throw this curveball. I wanted to throw a curve because my cousin Vinny, who was also a pitcher, he could throw a curveball. And I was like, he can do it. I know I can do it. And I beamed this kid 3 times. The same kid. I hit him in the head. I hit him in the back. I hit him in the leg. His mama came out of the stands after me. Said, why is he trying to kill my boy? Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ricky. I can't throw at 98. I can't aim either, so it's a lose-lose for me. I do have a book for you to sign. It's called Goodnight Football, and this is going to go into our Make Way for Books library. I don't have a good pen, but I'll get you a good marker. This doesn't write well, promise. We do have some club business. We ready for some club business? Ready or not, we're doing it. So before we get to the birthdays, because we do have some birthdays, we're going to introduce a new member. So I'm going to welcome up Roger LaFay, who's already up here. Joined our club December 2nd, 2024. Business services, credit card processing, went to Southern Utah. Roger.
All right. I also went to U of A too.
Did you?
I did.
I believe you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. All right. Here to introduce a new member. So I met Greg through the Tucson Rodeo about 10 years ago. He's been a great friend and generally one of the happiest people you'd ever meet. And he's got the best laugh. He is very passionate about horses and rodeo. He and his wife own a ranch outside of Vail, Arizona. He also attended U of A. He's run Acacia IT for over 30 years, helping hundreds of businesses around the country with security and compliance. Greg is the epitome of being a volunteer. That's why he's perfect for the Rotary Club. He currently serves on the board of several nonprofits and volunteers at many others, including Boy Scouts of America, Trot, Therapeutic Riding of Tucson, the Tucson Rodeo, the Rodeo Parade, TMM Family Services, on and on and on, and a few chambers of commerce as well. Bottom line, he's a great guy and gets things done. Please welcome my good friend, Greg Durnan.
Thanks. I just want to say real quick that I was talking to Ricky beforehand, and I said, I walked on at the U of A too to play football, and I went, I ain't playing here. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Congrats. Let's pose for a picture here.
All right.
David's right over there. Roger, you get to get in it too.
Okay. Right behind the microphone?
Yep.
Awesome.
Got it? That way you don't have to be cropped out.
There you go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now for some birthdays. Are we ready for some birthdays? Man, you guys are, we need to get on it a little bit here. You're struggling a little bit. And my papers are out of order, so I'm going to be in trouble. That's why you always have a backup. First, you had a birthday, Chuck? Chuck Sawyer, his birthday's May 16th. He joined our club December 15th, 2004. Impressive. Retailing, recycled office supplies. It still says Cartridge World, but we know you sold that business. He unfortunately went to the University of Oregon, the Ducks. Sorry, I had to, Chuck. I had to. Rotary Club of Tucson president, 2018 to 2019. Something you may not know about Chuck is he started something you may not know about Chuck when he was president, right? Well, it wasn't about Chuck. It was whoever the birthday person is. So this is a Q&A. The question is, what did Chuck gain 1 of in 2023, none in 2024, and 2 in 2025?
Grandkids.
Pounds.
And the answer is pounds. Nailed it. Good job, Doug. It is grandchildren. Granddaughter Aaliyah was born in 2023. Grandson Ren was born 2 months ago. And granddaughter Lena Grace was born 4 days ago? 4 days ago. Chuck?
Thank you, President Curtis. Yeah, it's been a great year this year, certainly for the Sawyer family. So Kathy and I can't say enough about having grandkids who they're here in town, and we're thrilled about it. So baby Lena is Lena Grace. She's doing great. Mom's doing great. Everything's good on that side, so it's good. And selling Cartridge World, for if you didn't know, we sold it. We had it for 21 years. We sold it at the beginning of the year to a young grandma who's been with us for 17 years. So if you already work with Cartridge World, you know him. He does a great job. He's doing a great job with the business. So it's nice to have that sold and done as well. And I'm continuing to work with Gary Hirsch. So about, 18 months ago, started working with a company out of Atlanta called Navix. It's exit planning. It's consulting to help companies get ready to sell before they sell. And we help them with making sure that they sell and also maybe make a little bit more money in selling it as well. And so that's fun. So I'm not quite retired yet, but I'm inching towards it. So it's good. I'll keep a little bit busy on that side. I'd like to also just comment and thank all of you. So, I am in awe through the years of how much this club does, how much it gives back to the community, how everybody gets involved, and how the camaraderie of that. And it's just something that's special to me. And I have a chance, I get to work with Diana Cannon. She's somewhere there she is. She runs the STAR meetings. And so for all the new members who come through, I get to say, they ask you and they say, well, tell something about how Rotary's affected your life. And I said, well, Rotary, I've been in it now for 21 years, and it is the single biggest thing. I was gone from Tucson for 20 years of integrating me and my family and my wife back into this community. And my best friends are in this Rotary Club. And so I thank you all because it's a special thing for me as well. I also want to acknowledge Curtis Dawson here because he did a phenomenal job. Still have a couple meetings. Don't have this past president pin yet, but you're going to have one soon. You're going to be right there. But I've done a phenomenal job running our meetings. And can we give Curtis a round of applause? And that's true for Chris Dodge and Brittany. They're not here today, but they do a great job as Sergeant of Arms, and that makes a big difference. So I've got a couple checks. I've got one for Rotary International. That's a sustaining membership one, and I'm going to make that for Polio Plus because polio is still the thing out there. It's getting a little bit worse, and so we need to make sure we keep pushing until polio is taken care of. And then I've got a check for the Rotary Club of Tucson Foundation. I'm going to do this one for the International Fund just because it doesn't have as much money in it, but give it that, and that's been an important thing as well. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
For all the new people and guests, you get a birthday minute. Just wanted you to know.
Past president. I'm taking my exemption.
And I'd probably find it, but he did have you all clap for me. So well done, Chuck. Well done. Next, we have Tom Moulton. Birthday's May 22nd. Joined our club May 11th, 2017. Please stay seated through all this because this is a long one. Community and Social Services, Southern Arizona Attractions Alliance, went to Adrian College. Something you may not know about Tom. Tom starred in a Shakespearean play, The Tragedy of Julius Caesar, as Caesar, Rome's military hero, while part of being in an acting school. A very important moment of Tom's career as an actor, a very serious acting role. That's about a tenth of it. While addressing Rome's Senate just before the killing scene of Caesar, what he didn't know was one of the characters on stage held up a giant cue card designating the theater's audience as a Senate and asked them for a response via cue cards throughout this important address. When there should have been cheers, he was laughed at. When there should have been laughter, the response was jeers and boos. Tom became so annoyed that he broke script and told everyone he accepted the position of emperor and fired the entire Senate. Suddenly, the theater's curtain dropped. This was supposed to be the scene where Brutus was to suddenly stab Caesar. The play's director ran onto the stage when the curtain was down and momentarily shouted at Caesar. That was you, yeah. You were supposed to have died, not fire the Senate. Tom addressed the audience when the curtain opened, simply saying, "Thank you for being part of our fractured fairy tales," and he was promptly attacked by Brutus and others and stabbed to death, saying, "Don't worry, I will return at Act 4. He indeed did return as the ghost of Caesar. Tom?
Thank you, Curtis, for reading all of that pretty fast. Yeah, the opportunity to be part of a small team was the message there, but don't take yourself too seriously. But on the other hand, sometimes the roles do make sure that you are serious, and even though keep your sense of humor. So I wanted to thank Art and Phil and Arnie for sticking with me in 2017 when I retired from Pima County and felt lost and had nothing to do. And 2 weeks later, Art says, "Come join Rotary. I think you'll enjoy it." And certainly, since then, I also want to thank Chuck because he's the one who introduced me to the parking at the car show, so that was just a pleasurable experience. I did ask him, can we have a dust truck? And for those that now volunteer, we now have a dust truck to control the parking lot. So that was a big revelation, and we get to breathe a lot better. And then I got to plant trees with Chuck. And I said, when do we get into the real service of the community? And of course, he reminded me that all the things that Rotary does. So thank you, Chuck, for holding my hand. I think you were either the president or the incoming president at that time. So I've really thoroughly enjoyed since 2017. Again, a special thanks to Art for finally convincing me to join this wonderful club with the great, fabulous people here. So I have a check, and thank you all.
So for our guests, just so you know, it's a birthday minute that the birthday people get. Sorry. And we do have one more birthday. She's really good with numbers, so I'm not worried about this one. Joe DeChatelet, May 23rd, joined our club January 1st, 2012. Previously a member September 10th, 2003 through March 31st, 2009. She's a retired CPA, went to Cleveland State U. And something you may not know about Joe. Joe completed her goal of traveling to the 7 continents. The last 2 were Antarctica in 2023 and Africa in 2024. Joe.
Thanks, President Curtis. I'm a little embarrassed that I wrote so little about myself. First of all, I brought Wilbur back so someone else can take him. And, geez, I didn't have any new grandchildren. I don't have any great acting career, but I'll share Rotary stuff, okay? First of all, I want to thank Charlotte for bringing me back the second time after my husband passed away, and I love Rotary. One of the things I'm happiest about is how our Rotary Foundation has grown, especially through the Legacy Society. So I want to let all of you know that if you want to make your contribution annually to the scholarships, or even if you don't do it annually, and you do it through Rotary, you can do it to the scholarship endowment. And thank you, Chuck, for contributing to the international. I did that the first year, and it isn't growing too fast. But anyway, that's my check for that. My other check is for the Rotary Foundation Annual Fund, and it's a great group. Thank you, Curtis. I'm done. Did I make it?
You did good. One out of 3 is not bad, right? We'll take 1 out of 3. That's a good bat. That's like Hall of Fame batting average, right? Yeah, we'll take that. Next, we have a Paul Harris presentation. So I'm going to welcome up Charlotte Harris, presenting to. Is that you, Bobby Larson? Yes.
As Rotarians, we continue to work closer to a world of peace and understanding through our support of our Rotary International Foundation. Today we are presenting 3 Paul Harris Fellows. The first fellow to fellow Rotarian Bobby Larson, a Paul Harris Fellow +8, and his gifting of Paul Harris Fellows to his daughter KJ and son Spencer. Bobby was fortunate enough to be born into a wonderful family of 4, he being the oops baby. He enjoyed life in the small rural town in Paxton, Illinois, playing sports and attending school, and then in summers baling hay, walking beans, and taking the tassels off corn. He was fortunate enough to go to the Lawrenceville School in New Jersey for a gap year before attending the University of Illinois. There he played on a varsity baseball team, joined Sigma Chi fraternity, and later coached at the University of Illinois. Other highlights in his life include being selected to be a grad assistant for the University of Arizona baseball team while finishing his grad work there, and being the first athletic director at Catalina Foothills High School. On a personal note, Bobby shares, "The smartest thing I've ever done is marry Tracy, my beautiful, intelligent, accomplished, loving wife and mother, who is also a Paul Harris Fellow." Finally, he and his best friend and business partner, Klaus Aikson, started the Villas Assisted Living and Memory Care Neighborhoods in 2005 and have built them up to 100 residents in Green Valley and 100 residents in Tucson, soon to be 140. plus having been the Best Assisted Living Memory Care Award in Southern Arizona for the past 9 years straight, with focus, care is our specialty, and multiple home clusters in a neighborhood setting. And on a professional note, Bobby shares a big thank you. And there's going to be a picture up on the screen. And now let's talk about his kids. KJ Larson Begley is pictured in the photo on the screen on the left with her husband Trevor. KJ is soon, June 2nd or before, to be a mother to Fritzy, her and Trevor's first child, and Bobby and Tracy's first grandchild. KJ was a dancer in high school and excelled in school. She then went on to CU Boulder and received her undergraduate degree and master's in accounting in 4 years. She was involved in student government and now is a CPA for Ernst Young in Denver, with her biggest client being the Regents of the University of California and University of California Retirement Plan for all UC schools. These schools are all up together into one 5,000-page tax return. Spencer, his son, is pictured on the screen in the photo on the right with his wife, Kylie. Spencer is a wonderful young man that has had his associate's degree from Pima Community College, where he learned to be a welder. He still welds to this day just outside of Minneapolis, where he lives with his lovely wife. Spencer went to Sabino High School, where he started on the football team and was the second team All-City in baseball pitching and playing shortstop as a lefty. Spencer enjoys the outdoors, being an avid fly fisherman, enjoying hunting and hiking, and plays some golf with his wife. When asked why he supports Rotary, Bobby responds, "Rotary has given me and all of us here the opportunity to help others in Tucson, our country, and the world around us. We're able to do this while at the same time meeting and becoming friends with wonderful people from all facets of life. Without a doubt, Rotary is the #1 organization in the world that does so much for others while at the same time providing its members the chance to grow as a person, personally and professionally." Please join me in congratulating Bobby and his daughter and son.
Thank you, Charlotte. And next, it's my honor to welcome up, if you're wondering why I'm wearing a tie today, this next individual has some pretty high standards, and I was scared to be on the stage with him at the same time not wearing a tie. So I'd like to welcome up John Wong. He likes to make an entrance, so he's taking his time to saunter.
Curtis killed the agenda because he's allowed 4 past presidents to have this microphone today.
I'm glutton for punishment.
All right, I wrote this speech, but I'm having trouble seeing, so bear with me. This is about the Orville McPherson Award. This is the highest honor given by Rotary Club of Tucson to a member of this club. Why is it named for an individual? Orville McPherson was a charter member of this club, but he was much more than that. He graduated from high school in Yuma in 1913 and was awarded a scholarship to the University of Arizona. At the University of Arizona, he majored in commerce. He was a student leader, eventually became president of his class, but he also played football. He was on the team coached by the legendary Pop McHale. McPherson was so swift as a runner, his nickname became Speedy. He graduated in 1917 and immediately went in the Army and served World War I in Europe. Coming back to Tucson, he embarked on a career in journalism, but he was also very active in civic affairs. In 1921, he was secretary of the Chamber of Commerce, and as such, he was asked to invite the heads of Rotary and Kiwanis to come to Tucson for the purpose of discussing a charter. It was an awkward situation because both heads of those organizations arrived on the very same day. And Speedy McPherson had to arrange presentations for both of them, so he arranged different dining rooms, and he shuttled back and forth between 2 dining rooms to entertain both of these presentations. The younger members of the Tucson leadership chose to become Rotarians. and McPherson joined with them. As you all remember well, Rotary Club of Tucson was chartered February 14th, 1921. Beyond actively serving in Rotary, McPherson participated in creating the Tucson Municipal Airport and also in establishing the Veterans Hospital here in Tucson. So he served his community in many, many different ways, as well as serving in Rotary. Each year, a distinguished committee selects a member of this club of being worthy of recognition as representing the highest ideal of Rotary. What is the highest ideal of Rotary? Service above self. That's what McPherson was, service above self. Please remember that as Rotarians, we have several pathways of service. Service within our club, service through our club to our community, and service with international projects through Rotary International, serving the world at large. Orville McPherson Award recognizes an individual of this club who has made significant contributions through all these avenues of service. And today we're going to make that award, and another past president's coming up here.
Oh, please.
Bill Harlow, come on up.
No, don't. I'm not the winner. No. In case you're confused.
He already had the award.
No, I'm. Thank you. So I'm going to tell you about the Orville McPherson Award winner. So thank you, past President John. It's my honor to make this presentation today. Who is our recipient? Here's a hint. She is taller than John Wong, but not as tall as me. So that's what you get. As with all previous winners, this year's recipient is an outstanding Rotarian. Putting service above self is something that comes easily to this individual. Ask and you shall receive. Need something done? Just ask. Need a leader to get you through a difficult situation? This is your person. Host a youth exchange student or two? Why not? Be sergeant at arms? It'd be my pleasure. Pick up the scholarship cups at the end of every meeting? No problem. How about serving on the board of directors? I'd love to. Our recipient has a full-time job as president of her company, has a family at home, and then we asked the individual to be president of the club. And if that wasn't enough, we said, what if we give you a couple years off, and then could you take over the Tucson Classics car show for a year? Our recipient attended Mountain View High School here in Tucson and graduated from Northern Arizona University. Our recipient is married to a fellow Rotarian and has 2 children. She was selected to be president-elect of our club after just 9 years in our club. As our recipient looked forward to being our 100th president, could our recipient have ever guessed that just prior to her term, the COVID pandemic would become official? Rotary clubs across the country were shutting down and not meeting. Chaos reigned, but not at the Rotary Club of Tucson. Under our recipient's determined leadership, our club answered the challenge, finding innovative ways to safely have meetings and engage its members. The DoubleTree shut down and we were forced to find another venue. We Zoomed, YouTubed, met in person, whatever it took. Strong leadership was needed, and our recipient delivered. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honoring our 2025 Orville McPherson Award winner, Rowdy Table. Drum roll, Jen Hoffman.
Okay, I am so honored and shocked. To be honest with you, I had no idea. I'm like, oh, my whole family's here. I mean, I knew Owen was coming, but this is great. You know, you get lifted up by the people in your club, right? And I certainly wouldn't have been able to lead the way I did during my presidency or the car show without the membership and the amazing mentors we have in this club for presidents and leaders. And being in Rotary is a gift. And I am truly humbled and honored. So thank you so much.
Geez, I was thinking they all should have sat at a table that you didn't know that they were here and they were going to give it away, but I was worried for nothing. And just to be clear, Bill Harlow was not the winner. Just want to make sure. Thanks for, I mean, you guys never give me a standing O, but Bill just comes to make an announcement, and it's good for me to have goals, right? I'll get there someday. We got a raffle?
Got a raffle, sir. All right, Ricky, could you pull a ticket for me? Remember, they're all winners because you get a small pot and then there's the big pot, but it all goes back to the club. All right, here we go. 262 701. 262 701.
Brett Stein. Congratulations, Brett.
All right, let's see. We're going to pull it. The pot, by the way, is at $1,180.
What card you need?
I'd hit him, but I think he'd hit me back.
I think that's clear.
Eight of diamonds. No big pot winner.
It's okay. You still won, Brett. I'm very happy for you. You should give me half of it. Right after this meeting, we need to clear the room because the TCC has another event they got to get ready for that's right away. So if you want to stay and linger, go out there. Sorry. Events are emailed out. They are on your table. You get them so many different ways. Please read one of those ways or listen to one of those ways so that you can stay engaged to what we're doing. Replacement mixer next Wednesday. It's going to be at El Charro in Oro Valley. Register on Club Runner. It's going to be a good time. No lunch meeting on June 4th because of a scheduling conflict with the TCC, but we will have events around town on June 4th. So if you want to host one of those lunches, please reach out to not me, but Dorina, where you want to meet at, how many for the reservation, and we will get that set up so people can sign up. We do have some red badge member selfies, right? We've got Brett and Brett and Brett with Greg Dernan, Rob Same, and Roger LaFay. Good job, Brett. Remember, take selfies with Red Badge members so that you can introduce yourself and make sure they're feeling welcomed in the club. And not only did we get Wilbur back, but Wilbur went on a trip. He just returned from Maine. Wilbur was resting after an exhausting walk on the sandbar in Bar Harbor, visiting Acadia National Park, and the Nubble Lighthouse. And not only did she kept to her time, but she brought Wilbur back. As a rule follower, I love rule followers. Well done, Joe. Please make sure you donate to the every Rotarian every year to the Rotary International Foundation. And now we have some announcements. Start with Mary from the Grants Committee.
Thank you very much. Just wanted to remind you all that this Friday is the deadline for making nominations to the nonprofits that we will send RFPs out to possibly get them in as finalists that you will then vote on in September. So there are forms on the table, and we sent out an email yesterday with the link to be able to do that. So this Friday is the deadline. Thank you.
So if you have a nonprofit that you want to be the beneficiary of the car show, submit them.
All right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Speaking of the car show, Dave White.
Ticket seller's moment. Hey, today I'm going to tell you how you can get credit for selling tickets without selling tickets. Okay. Any group, any nonprofit group, let's say a church youth group, a baseball team, or a sports team, a band, any group that needs to raise money for a project like uniforms or summer camp or instruments or whatever, if you can sign them up to use our car show to sell tickets, they get to keep $4 of every $10 ticket. And they keep the money at that time. They only give us $6 back for every ticket. They can also sell online, but they don't get the money until after the car show. So that's what you can do. And how to do that is coming in an email with all the stuff that you'll need. And Michelle Ward, where are you? Stand up, right there, Michelle. She is the one that can help you out if you need personal help to do that. Okay? Be sure and pick up your ticket selling packet, and let's open up a can of whoop-ass on this year's car show.
Thank you, Dave White. We have a couple Happy Jacksons. We're going to start with Mike Schulte. Mike.
Thank you, Ricky. That was great to start with. Just a shout out from my starving student son, Edward Bruszkowski. Edward's a student at the U of A. He's looking for some summer work. He's just finishing junior year. He's a major in economics and a minor in Russian. And he does community service work, community food bank, and with our car show. But he'd like to make a few bucks. So if you hear of anything, please let me know.
Thank you. Rick Rose.
Well, this is going to be a very hard act to follow, Chuck and everybody else. But as some of you may know, I too have sold my company after 50 years of producing film and videos, and I've sold it to another club member, Casper Cavalaris, who is in Chicago today shooting a job. As part of our agreement, I'll be staying on for about a year with him to help him to pay back the community for allowing me to do my passion for 50 years. So towards that end, we've agreed to dedicate a large portion of this year's work to helping local nonprofits navigate what's shaping up to be a really difficult fundraising period. And since many of you guys belong to board members and belong to boards may be having trouble, we've put together a bunch of really ridiculously inexpensive ways to get your message out, because I like to kind of pay it forward on my way out the door. So if you guys have any needs that we can help with, fundraising, awareness, and anything you need to help get the message out, please reach out. It'd do my heart good. Thank you.
I love what you're doing, Rick. That's fantastic. Quick comment on parking. I'm sure you've seen some signs. You will receive notification, but at the end of the day, what we're going to need every member to do is send in your license plate number so that your license plate will not get charged. Does that make sense? Unless you have money to burn, don't turn that in. But actually, no, if you do have money to burn, turn it in and then donate it to the YMCA. Oh, that was self-serving. I shouldn't have done that. But more.
I think that's about $50. $50? $50?
I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. I've donated. I've fined myself quite a bit this year, and the year's not up. So, yes, $50. Dan, you're good. And that wasn't even on the script. What am I doing? Thank you all to our guests. Thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you, Ricky, so much for the program. Please donate to our U of A and Pima Community College scholarship cups so that we can continue to further education for students. Happy birthday, Chuck. Tom, look at that. Tom, he's serving too. What a guy. And Joe, thank you again, Joe, for sticking to the time and bringing Wilbur back. 2 gold stars. Welcome to the club, Greg. Congrats on your Paul Harris, Bobby, and your kids. And Jen Hoffman, congratulations. So well deserved. Remember, next week, no meeting. We're going to have a social mixer at El Charro, with the one up North Oracle in Oro Valley. Great way to connect with other Rotarians. Next lunch meeting is not June 4th. That'll be lunches around town. Next one will be the 11th. Someone saying next week? Dan, listen to me. Stop talking. Gee whiz, you're killing me, Smalls. June 11th, speaking about international work, we're going to have our own L come and give us an update on some of the international workers supporting with the forgotten children. Now it's time to toast and adjourn. Cammie.
I would like credit for speaking the most up here besides you and saying the least. I think I've stayed within my time. So we'll just say to friends and family, old and new. Cheers.
No pressure, but please clear the room as quickly as possible.